And today I have with us two people that we dearly love, and you know, we have guests that are here for a purpose. And it's meaningful in your life, in our life, to have a purpose, and it's all for the good. This time we're going to be talking about the March of Dimes Citizen of the Year fundraising event. And I'd like to introduce you to my guest. We have with us David Grizzard, whom I absolutely love. His mom won't let me adopt him, but I'm trying. and he is our CFO on the board at Baptist East, and he is also a board member for the March of Dimes. And we have Pat Goodwin, who is well known in our community. Again, purpose-filled lady who does so much for so many people. And we are going to be talking about a lady that we need to give something back to, because the March of Dimes every year picks a Citizen of the Year for the March of Dimes. This year it's our friend Sherrie Myers, who owns the biscuits, who has done so much for this community, and this is a great chance to give something back, to honor her and to raise some money for the March of Dimes. And David, you know, you're doing so much with your day job, that's demanding, and with Baptist East, with that marvelous NICU out there, that's just, it truly is the best I've ever seen. And then you have to be selective about boards that you go on, but you decided to go on the March of Dimes board. And I'd like to know, you know, what put you there and what you love about it and what happens to this money that you give to us.
Well, the March of Dimes helps fund research and programs to prevent premature birth, birth defects, and infant mortality. I'm sorry. And so it's important to me to be on this board and serve this organization for two reasons. First, it's personal. My wife and I lost twins over 9 years ago. And second, the NICU is that we have at East benefits from the research and the dollars that come in through the March of Dimes. Okay, there's so many things, and we don't have time to list them all. But you know, in the fight against polio so many years ago, when they eradicated that disease, March of Dimes was instrumental. And when you think about, there's a substance that was created called surfactant now that we use even today in our NICU, that babies create it naturally towards the end of their birth. Right. But when you're born premature, they can't create that surfactant. But now doctors and nurses have the ability to administer this substance that allows their lungs to breathe, so that the lungs will not collapse, and so that the babies will not die, so that the babies will live. And so it's just a natural. It just goes naturally together, March of Dimes and our NICU there at Baptist Medical Center East. But I'm so proud of our particular unit. You're such an advocate for us, and,
yes.
you brag so much on our team. But I'm telling you, when we have patient testimonials that come
right.
in a lot, and for different awards that we can put our nurses up for there internally at the hospital, and all they talk about mainly is love. And it's just what you said earlier, or you were talking to me earlier about all that matters is love, and it really is. Those nurses treat those babies like they're their own, and they're so personal, and they love on the parents too, and they do all these personal things like dress them up every day, the babies, and comb their hair a certain way, the way the mama likes it, and boy, all that just resonates just so strongly. And so what March of Dimes allows us to do is the money they raise and the technology and the research that they do for the education allows us to be able to allow our nurses and our doctors and our caregivers to do what God's blessed them to do, and that's to take care of our babies.
Amen. And I believe our ambassadors for this event this year had their baby in the NICU for 96 days.
They did, sure did. And
wow.
And they can stay anywhere from a couple of days all the way up to, like you said, 96 days. And it's a long battle, it's a long journey, and the families are certainly always concerned and upset and worried, but boy, when the caregivers can come in and stand along beside them and support them and love on them, just as if they were
it's all about love in the end.
It is, it sure is. And
when we say NICU, for some of our viewers,
okay.
what does NICU stand for? Because not everybody knows that.
NICU, the initials there are NICU, but it stands for the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit. Okay,
right.
And so when these babies are born premature, they'll go straight to this unit instead of going to our well baby nursery. And where babies would typically stay only a day or at the most,
right.
maybe two, and then they'll go home with the mother. But here they'll stay, and they'll get round the clock attention, 24 hours, 7 days a week, just right there on top of them, And so it's that's what we do. And we have a 25. Just to tell you this, Miss Virginia, we have a 25 bed unit right now. We have 25 bassinets there that we take care of them. And as a matter of fact, next year we'll be celebrating our 25th anniversary.
I know,
So
that's
back in
exciting.
1991, we opened our unit. I believe back then it was only 9 beds, and so
Right.
now we're up to 25, and we stay pretty full. And I have to say that Baptist Medical Center South, they have a NICU as well. I think theirs are 40 beds, and they stay pretty full. But their babies come from outside the region, and,
Right,
and we
right.
keep ours are just we have a strong volume of deliveries there at East. And so anyway, as it is, we just do a lot of work there. Taking care
Well,
of
and the
babies.
March of Dimes, like you said, this is the fruit of the fundraising, that so much goes for this, and hopefully we'll have more beds and more things to make it easier for these premature babies. And yes,
And just one more thing I would tell you, but a lot of times we as parents and we as people, when we go in and have a baby, technology and research has gone so far that births happen pretty normally and pretty easily. But I'm telling you, you never know when you're going to be in that situation.
That's right.
You never know when you're going to need the NICU,
That's
and,
right.
and it doesn't discriminate. Any kind of race, old, young, it doesn't matter. You can have a premature baby just like that. You can do all the right things
and still have that
and
situation.
still have that situation. So, that's
Pat,
good.
let me move to you. There's going to be a tremendous a fundraising event, and it's going to be at Riverwalk Stadium.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's going to be on November the 17th. It'll start at 5:30, and we're going to turn the main concourse into a beautiful Italian villa type situation with the twinkle lights and decorations. And we'll have a pasta smorgasbord almost, multiple types of pasta, and it'll be a beautiful event.
Yeah, I think, and we get to honor Sherrie Myers.
Right.
And there'll be tables, sponsorships.
Right, and we have tables and sponsorship, and there'll be several of us out in the community over the next few weeks selling these sponsorships. You can always contact the local March of Dimes office here in town if you'd like to. And this whole thing is a very personal thing with
Absolutely.
Sherrie. Sherrie also had a baby who was born premature, her son Drew, and there's a photo of him up here. But if it hadn't been for the March of Dimes type efforts,
Right.
that child might not have made it. And he's a healthy 22-year-old, just graduated from college. She's proud as heck of him,
Yes,
and
yes.
we all love him.
Well, I love the fact that the community gets to honor somebody who has given back so much,
That's right.
as the owner of the biscuits to all of us, and steps up to every fundraiser we have. So I would like to see us really step up to the plate for her. Now, where can we get tickets, or where can we get in touch with you to get a table?
The website, which is marchofdimes.org, it has the tickets for sale. You can do them online right there, or you can call the local March of Dimes office here in Montgomery and get the tickets. We're not selling the tickets directly ourselves, but we are selling all the sponsorships for her.
And first time ever, individual tickets are going to be sold at $75 a piece.
Exactly.
So you know what? Come help us step up and spread the love. And thank you so much for being with us, and we'll be right back.